Good morning, beloveds. It is Sunday. It is the day after the 4th of July. So, if your neighbors were like my neighbors, you didn't get to sleep on in a reasonable time. They were out doing fireworks until God knows when, which really wasn't that big of a deal for me, because I was trying to watch the lunar eclipse. But apparently it was only going to be a shadow over the moon. So it was just going to dim the brightness a little bit, because we went out at 10 and 10:30 and 11 and 11:30, and that's when we gave up and said, to heck with this, we're going to bed. Because it didn't seem to change the brightness at all. I don't know what we were expecting, what we've seen before where it turned red or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody on Facebook will post really amazing pictures that you can see the difference in. I didn't. So, didn't make an effort. And it was a beautiful moon. It was a beautiful moon, so I do not regret going out to see it a number of times last night. I hope you enjoyed the moon and maybe your fireworks or your neighbor's fireworks. Yeah, whatever the case may be. Apparently one of my friends in her neighborhood, they were doing fireworks until 2:30 in the morning. But, oh well. Alright. It is July 5th. It is Sunday, which means we will have an amazing Sunday service for you very soon on this channel right here, right now. At 11 a.m., just in case you're watching this later. So today I share the gifts of God, and our Bible quote is, I will give unto him that is a thirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. And that is Revelations 21:6. If you haven't read Revelations, you should. It's really interesting. The language in it is different than you'll find pretty much anywhere else in the Bible. So I encourage you to go and read it, whatever your faith tradition is. All right. What a wonderful thought this is, that the very fountain of life flows open and free, that the gifts of heaven and earth are so bountifully bestowed upon all who receive them. But there is another thought for us to consider. If God, or life, has already made the gift, then even God, the supreme and perfect one, must wait for our acceptance of this gift. Perhaps we err in that we do not expect to share the gifts of God. Perhaps we are bound by the thought that we are not yet good enough to accept the gifts of the kingdom of good, or that we have not developed enough spirituality to appreciate them. Too often, we feel that these gifts are withheld, and so we do not live in an enthusiastic and confident expectation of sharing with the infinite. What a wonderful thought it is that we actually share in the infinite, with the infinite, in the boundless gifts of life. Today, I consciously share in the gifts of life. I open my whole thought and my whole being to the divine influx. I empty myself of everything that denies this good I so fervently desire. I establish my mind in expectancy, a feeling that all the good there is must belong to everyone who will take it. I am receiving the divine gifts now. I am entering into the spiritual inheritance that life has willed that every person should possess. Today, I am seeing the gift of life coming to me from every source, and even as it comes into my outstretched hand, uplifted to receive it, I enjoy the gift and pass it on. Freely, I give everything I have, blessing the gift as it passes through me to others, that it may be multiplied in their experience and in God's good way come back again to me. Well, that's a very uplifting ending. All right. So let's tackle this. So he is directly referencing that Bible quote. I give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the waters of life freely. What a wonderful thought this is, that the very fountain of life flows open and free, that the gifts of heaven are so bountifully bestowed on all who receive them. So right there in the Bible quote, it says, I will give unto him that is athirst from the fountain of water, or the fountain of water of life freely. Meaning, all you have to do is be thirsty. Which means you have to be open to receiving. All right? But there is another thought for us to consider. Okay? If God or life has already made the gift, it's already there and available, then even God, the supreme and perfect one, must wait for our acceptance of this gift. A main theme throughout these readings have been, we have to consciously accept. So we have to say, okay, the gifts are all around me. I am willing to accept them. Consciously accept them. Perhaps we err in that we do not expect to share the gifts of God. Okay? That would be our first mistake. We do not expect to share in the gifts of God. Perhaps we are bound by the thought that we are not yet good enough to accept the gifts of the kingdom. Or, well, all right. If we think we are not good enough, then first things first, we have to go back and realize, what are we made of? If we are made of the stuff of God, we are good enough. If we are made by God, we are good enough, because God don't make no junk. That's a motivational, inspirational poster growing up. God don't make no junk. Well, you're not junk. So you are good enough. And I hate to use that word enough. It's not that you're good enough. You are good. You are good. Let me say that out loud multiple times. You are good. You are made of God's stuff. I mean, it's the best material out there, so why wouldn't you be? You know? Think about that for a minute. Or that we have not developed enough spiritually to appreciate them. Okay. So he starts out by saying God must wait on our acceptance of the gifts. Perhaps we err in that we do not expect to share in the gifts. Okay. God wants us to be happy. Spirit wants us to be happy. So Spirit wants us to have and use the gifts, right? And then we are not yet good enough. Okay, I've already argued that one. It's like you're made of God's stuff. God don't make no junk. You are good enough. Or that we have not developed spiritually enough to appreciate them. So that's setting a limit on yourself. What is spiritual? I mean, we can look at the saints, like all the Christian and the Catholic saints. We can look at them and go, oh, well, I could never be that. But what does spiritual mean? Maybe we need to redefine our terms as to what spiritual means. It doesn't mean sitting in the lotus position on the top of a mountain, feeding on dew. That's not spiritual. I mean, it is to some people. But not everybody can do that, nor should everybody, because then the work of the world would never get done. We've got stuff going on. So what does it mean to be spiritual to you? I think I hear a talk title. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to write that one down as soon as I get my phone, because that's where my list is. What does it mean to be spiritual to you? Because trust me, you are spiritual enough to appreciate it. And again, there's that word again. You are a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. That means that you are spiritual. You are a spirit walking around in a mortal form. So let's stop with this spiritual enough and just know that you are spiritual. And that is enough. All right. So we do not live in enthusiastic and confident expectation of sharing with the infinite. You are spirit in form. So please live in confident, enthusiastic expectation of those gifts. They are your gifts because Spirit gives them freely. Freely. All you have to do is consciously accept them. I know, that's the hard part, right? What a wonderful thought it is that we actually share with the infinite the boundless gifts of life. So, here's our power statements. Today, I consciously share in the gifts of life. I open my whole thought and my whole divine being to the divine influx. If our error is that we do not expect to share, then why not expect it? Sometimes you see people who get things and you're like, I'm going to use the word terrible people. They are children of God, but they are terrible people. But things keep falling into their hands. And you're like, how are they doing that when they're terrible people? It's because they consciously expect it. They consciously share in the gifts of life. We won't talk about, the other side of the hell that they are living in because of the choices that they make. But when you see that, it's like God isn't rewarding them because they're good, or God isn't rewarding them because they're bad. God is doing what God does. Spirit is doing what Spirit does, which is when you consciously accept and use those gifts, things fall easily into your hands. So consciously expect and use them. And then live with a clean conscience and don't fall into the hell of being a terrible person. No judgment there. I empty myself of everything that denies this good I so fervently desire. Meaning I empty myself of I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think that I'm spiritual enough. I don't expect it. I empty all of that. I'm letting it go. I establish my mind in expectancy, a feeling that all the good there is must belong to everyone who will take it. And that's the crux of this. The good belongs to everyone who will take it. There is no judgment in the law. There are consequences, but there are no judgments. I will give you what you ask for. So be careful what you ask for. And what you ask for, do it joyfully. Okay. I am receiving the divine gift right now. I am entering into the spiritual inheritance that life has willed that every person shall possess. Again, it's open and available to everyone. And even as it comes into my outstretched hands, uplifted to receive it. I mean, he's putting you into the mind of a posture, uplift to receive it. I enjoy the gift and pass it on. And I think that's one of the secrets of this, is I enjoy the gift and I pass it on. I allow that gift to flow through me out into other people. Because if I try and hold on to it, I'm bottlenecking the flow. And new gifts don't come on or come through. Freely I give everything I have, blessing the gift as it passes through me to others. So I'm allowing that divine energy to flow through me. Yeah, this is my interpretation. You can have it flow the other way if you want. Don't take this from me. Do what makes it feel comfortable to you. So I am allowing the divine gift to flow through me, allowing it to move out into the world. And I give of my gift freely, whatever that gift is. Apparently today, mine is talking. Actually, that's kind of my gift every day. I like to talk. And it's your gift whether or not you choose to listen. So I'm allowing it to flow through me, because if I don't talk, then I'm bottlenecking my gift. If I don't, like Laura, one of my classmates, draws these beautiful mandalas, and if she stopped doing that, then it would bottleneck inside of her and she would explode in a way. It would still come out, but it would come out sideways and not be the gift that she has. So allow your gift to flow through you, whatever it is. Or I shouldn't say whatever it is, because you have many, many, many gifts. You have many gifts. Allow them all to flow through you, because the right people to receive them will find them. So freely I give everything I have, blessing the gift as it passes through me to others, that it may be multiplied in their experience, so that they find the gift, not my gift, they find the gift, because it may have come through me, but it isn't necessarily mine. Because they will take it into their experience, you will take it into your experience and do with it as you will, and allow it to pass through. And it will multiply from your experience with it. And in God's good way, come back again to me. That is reciprocity. It will come back to me. What I put out into the world will come back to me, multiplied by having been through you. So, our mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to recognize that we are good, and that we have the right, that we have the expectation to share in these gifts, that we are spiritual. So, we expect, we are good, we are spiritual for these gifts, that they will go, and we are consciously open to these divine gifts, and that we freely give expression to these gifts so that they move on out into the world and are multiplied and come back to us. All right. I have a service to get ready for. I posted the topic yesterday. Don't remember what it is. I have no idea who the music is going to be, because anytime I say it, I'm wrong, so I'm not going to. But it will be good. It will be amazing. It will be fantastic, because Reverend Jessie always is, right? All right. So, do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Experience your gifts. Let them pass freely through you, and know that you are good and that you are spiritual. So, get some fresh air. Get your groove on, whatever that looks like. Sing, dance, play music, run, walk, hop, skip, jump. Do what it takes to make a fantastic day, beloveds, because you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. And the gifts are available. Be open and ready to receive. All right, beloveds, have a fantastic day. I will see you back at 11 a.m. right here. Bye, babe.